record now. And RioTV leadership team, take it away.
All right. Welcome, teachers from, so today we're doing a how to Zoom for teachers, just a little bit of tips on how to use Zoom and all of the features about it. So this is presented by RioTV's leadership team at Rio Norte Junior High School.
So today we're just going to be teaching you some easy tips on Zoom.
And if they want to, are they allowed to ask questions during the presentation?
Yes. The first one is about security and breakout rooms. So on the bottom of your screen is the control center, and if you're host or co-host, you have the security icon. And in the top left picture, you can see what shows up when you click on it. And you should also have the breakout room icon. When you click on the breakout room icon, your screen should look like the picture on the top right. You can choose how many rooms you want, and if you want the people to be random, or you can select which people you want in each breakout room. You might have to switch up some things in your settings to get the breakout room icon, and Mia will show us how to do that.
All right, before we do that, because I'm going to stop the share, right? Because Mia, you're going to share your screen. You're muted, Mia.
I think since it's a little pixely, I think I can just explain it.
Okay, or I can take you through my settings if you want. But before we actually get to the screen share, Mia or Ella, can you explain to us, because you talked about, and I'm going to go back to the screen share here. Ella, you were talking about the difference. Am I sharing the slideshow again?
Yeah.
Okay. Ella, you talked about the difference between automatically and manually. Can you go into a little bit of detail on that? As a teacher, when would I want to share do breakout rooms automatically, and when would I want to do them manually?
Automatically, maybe when people are when you're first doing your breakout rooms, so people can get to know each other. And maybe manually when you want certain people in a group together, maybe you don't want 2 people in a room together or something like that. You can do it manually.
Those are good reasons. All right, so Mia, you're going to take us through the Zoom settings, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So for me, when I had to enable it, it's instead of going to your settings from the app or what you have to go from the website and you click My Account Settings. And then you have to scroll all the way down, and then there's going to be an option where you can enable breakout rooms. So if you keep going.
Can we stop here really quickly? Can you talk about this, co-host?
We have a slide for that, actually.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't want to steal your thunder then. There we go.
Yep. And then if you click it, then that allows breakout rooms. So.
Now, Mia, let's say that I want to do breakout rooms and I'm in the middle of a Zoom call with my students. And I was like, oh my gosh, I can't get breakout rooms. What's the problem? Can I just go into the website and turn it on and then it'll magically appear?
No, you have to join back.
Okay, so in other words, you can't do it. You can't turn on this setting in the middle of a meeting. You would have to do it ahead of time.
Yeah, and it won't just automatically appear.
But then after you've turned it on, it'll stay on until you turn it off.
Yeah.
Okay. Was there anything else you wanted to show in the settings here?
I don't think so.
Okay, cool.
Thank you.
Are we going back to the slideshow now?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so next we're going to talk about scheduling a meeting. So when you schedule, so instead of having it as so-and-so's personal meeting room, you can change the you can change the title so that, for example, this says weekly team meeting. And then you can set a date and a time and how long you want it to be. When you set how long you want it to be, it won't necessarily end at 1 hour, for example. It's just a rough estimate for the people you're inviting to the meeting. If you use a personal meeting ID, you will be.
Julia, can I stop you?
Yeah.
So the duration, so in other words, it's not going to shut off after an hour if I put an hour on there, right?
Yes.
That's just as a guide.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
And also, if you click recurring meeting, it'll happen continuously every week. Yeah, it'll just be on all the time. If anyone puts in the meeting ID and the password, they'll be able to join even if the host is not there.
I'm gonna stop you again because you're doing great, Julia. But thinking as a teacher, and other teachers may have the same question too, do you think, in your professional opinion as a student, do you think it would be helpful to create a new meeting for every class time, every time you meet as a class?
No.
No.
So probably a good idea then to set, for all of us teachers, if we're using Zoom for our classrooms, probably a good idea to turn that recurring meeting on and then just use the same code for every time you meet as a class, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So
May I
now,
add something?
yeah, Ms. Grambois, go ahead.
It's not actually a question. I saw in the settings that it said something about the kids could not get there before the host.
So you can enable that.
Okay, I'm just saying because
Yeah.
you were saying the kids could go in at any time, but I think if you hit that button,
Yeah, so you definitely want to, whenever you're setting up your meeting, and you can have this in your default settings, you can have it turned off to join before host. You definitely want to have that turned off. But I was talking about having the same code for the whole, because that's what I did in the spring with my students in Zoom. That's what I'm doing over the summer with my RioTV students. They just click on the same code, and then they have to wait for me to get there. And then once I open up the room, then we can all go in together. Okay, Julie, back to you.
Also, you don't have to click recurring meeting. You can put it into Google Calendar where the students can access it whenever, but they won't be able to join unless you join. With the meeting ID, if you use a personal meeting ID, you can change the password to whatever you want it to be. Video, so you can set it to where when participants come in, their video is off or on. You can do the same with muted or unmuted. Yeah, there at the bottom, you can see how you can add it to a couple of different calendar settings, and then you just want to go ahead and click the schedule button, and you can copy the link and share it, or you can just add it to Google Calendar and have them access it when they can.
Is there a reason, let me ask you, Julia or Mia or Ella, is there a good reason to add it to Google Calendar? Why would a teacher want to do that?
If you add it to Google Calendar, it'll give them a reminder about 10 minutes before the meeting starts, so then they'll know to come on.
So, but that's
to find it.
But that's only if the teacher shares that calendar event with the student, right?
Yeah.
With their student. So that's what I did with my students, is I added them all in Google Calendar, so they can just go to Google Calendar on their computer or on their phone, and they can find the link right there, and it's real easy. Let me ask you, Mia, Ella, Julia, for the teachers that you had since March who were using either Zoom or Google Meet, how did you find their code? Like where did you go to get it, and what teachers made it easier for you to find the code to join?
Well, my teachers, we didn't have like Zoom meetings. Just like during the classroom, we had one Zoom meeting at the end for like a goodbye. But what she just did is she just emailed it to us. And then she also had it in her Google Classroom posted. So that was also helpful.
Yeah, my teachers also did it in Google Classroom.
Mine too, besides Mr. Galito.
All right, cool. we ready to move on to the next slide?
Yes, and yep, that's me also. So this is user view and button controls. So for manage participants, that's where you can add people in with the waiting room. Oh, that's another thing. You can enable the waiting room, or you can disable it. The waiting room, basically, you have to allow them to come in. They just can't come in. So that's where you would let people in. You can also, in the participants, if you're the host, you are able to mute people, unmute them, turn off their video, turn on their video. Share screen is what Mr. Polito is doing now. So that green button, you can choose to share computer audio if you're doing a video, and it'll basically show what you see on your computer screen or whatever device you're on. The chat is where people can communicate, participants and the host can communicate through there. So like if you have a question, you can type in the chat or whatever you would like to do. Mute is unmute and mute. Start video is just turning on and off your video. Breakout rooms is what we talked about earlier. Security can control, well, I think we talked about that too earlier. And then you can end the meeting, or if you're a participant, you can leave the meeting. And then the polling, are we talking about that later?
I don't think so.
Okay, so polling, basically you can send out like a list of questions, I guess. I don't really know how to explain it.
Are you seeing my login right now?
Yes.
Yes.
So, let's try this again. Let's log in. I have so many Zoom accounts. It's kind of crazy. Let's try signing in with, that was totally not what I wanted to do. I'm going to, let's see about going over here, and I'm going to pause. Actually, I'm going to do a new share. This is one of the features you can do with screen sharing, and you can flip from one screen to another. Can you now see the screen where I'm moving my mouse around? Can you see that screen?
Yes.
Okay, so let's try. I'm going to add a question to polls. This is exactly, okay. Can you see where it says add a poll?
Yes.
Okay, good. So this is a feature that is only in the paid version of Zoom. So I pay my $15 a month and I get the paid version. If we say please, 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 please to the Heart District, maybe they'll even pay for Zoom for Education. I don't know if that's going to happen, but I would love for that to happen. So what is your favorite ice cream flavor? Actually, this is the poll title. Here's the question here. And I can build this poll: chocolate, vanilla, strawberry, Rocky Road, mint chip, cookies and cream, cookie dough, or other. Single choice or multiple choice, I just want everybody to choose one, and I'll click save. And so now I don't think, do you see the button that says launch poll, or is that something only I can see?
We can't see that. We can just see like Google Calendar, Outlook Calendar. Yeah.
Got it. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop the share, and you are going to participate in a poll. We'll launch that poll. And so now everybody should see this poll, and if you want to vote for your favorite ice cream flavor, you can vote for that right now.
Co-hosts can't vote though in
You
polling.
are exactly right. So I'm going to temporarily revoke your co-host status so that you can vote for your favorite ice cream flavor. And then I'll give you co-host status back. Can you, while we're waiting for the votes to come in on your favorite ice cream flavor, can someone tell me what is the purpose of co-host, or is you said that's going to come up later in the slideshow, right?
Yes, there is
Yes.
a slide
I
for
keep
co-hosts.
I keep wanting to steal your thunder. Okay. I'm going to go ahead, and if everyone has voted, Mr. Bibakoff, did you get a chance to vote?
Yes, I did.
Sweet. All right. I'm going to end this poll. And so I had the option to end the poll. And now I see, as the host, I see a button that says share results. And so now I've pushed those results out so everybody can see the results. Chocolate is our big winner. Why would teachers want to use polls? Like what benefit would this have in a classroom?
You could use a poll like to say like if you turned in your paper or not, or if there's like a question on a worksheet that you can't do virtually, you could ask that.
Mia,
Yeah.
what would be another good use of a poll?
Well, polls can help with getting everybody's opinions if you don't want everyone to just talk at once. So instead, you just get their opinion from the poll.
True. What else, Ella?
I agree with Mia. Like sometimes you would ask everyone like a question and people would like raise their hands to answer in like a classroom. But if you want everyone's like opinion, but it will like take too long, you can just have like a poll and then see like if the whole class got like the right answer or the majority got the wrong answer.
Yeah, and it's super nice because it's embedded right into Zoom, so you don't need to send them out to a Google form or to Nearpod or Pear Deck or anything else. It's just embedded right there. But again, that's one of the paid features. It's not available on a free account. All right, back to the slideshow.
And then record is just to record the meeting like we are now. Invite, I guess you can send the link to people. I've actually never seen that button before.
And this is a slightly older screenshot here. It's a little bit updated right now. Invite is now included in up in the upper left-hand corner. There's a little icon, an eye icon to invite people, and you can also invite from the participant list as well. But that would be, so you would use that invite feature, which is just in a different place now. If, let's say, there were kids emailing you as a teacher and they're like, I don't know where the link is, because this happens. I don't know where the Zoom link is. Then you could quickly copy that invite and then just drop it in Google Classroom and push it out. So that way they would have it again. If you're in the middle of a meeting and kids are like frantic, they can't find where to go.
I think that's it for this slide.
Cool. Let's move on.
All right, so at the bottom controls, there's a screen sharing icon. And if you click on the picture, in the top left corner, it'll show you the screen share settings. And when you click the screen sharing icon, if you click again, the next picture will show. Yeah, and the picture shown should appear. That was, and you have the option to share what you want. So you have the option to pause your share and enable your share, which Julia and Mr. Polito already gave a brief explanation about screen sharing. So,
but Mia, you're saying that you could actually, like a teacher could actually share their iPhone or iPad to do like a demo on their phone?
yes.
You mean like this? Like this? Oh, shoot. Can you see it now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, good. Okay, so I'm actually doing a live demo of my phone right now. And so if let's say I wanted to show how to use Flipgrid, then I could do a demo. Oh, absolutely, but I don't want to know later. So I could actually do a demo on if I want them to submit videos through Flipgrid, then, oh, hey, there's Julia and there's Mia right there. I could actually show them how to use an app on the phone so I can demo so that they can learn how to do something on like an iPhone or an iPad. Cool. All right, let's switch over to, we want to go back to the presentation. Boom.
And I think that's all for me to say. And next slide.
Okay.
Are you going to tell me how to do that now?
Yeah, oh, absolutely. So when you click share screen, so there is, there's this screen that comes up. It looks a little bit different on my computer, but when you click share screen, one of the options is iPhone or iPad by cable. And so you just need to make sure, that you have a cable hooked into from your computer into your iPhone or your iPad. I don't know if that works on a Chromebook. I think you actually have to be on a computer in order to do
Sean
that.
and I were trying to do it the other day, and we actually had our iPad, and we were trying to do it, but it was having, distortion with the voices and whatever. So I didn't realize I was on mute. Sorry. Sean and I were trying to do that the other day, and we didn't know we could do it that.
You can. I've tried to do it through AirPlay because I have a Mac, and so I was trying to do it like wirelessly, and I've had problems with that. But with the cable, with the hardwire cable, it's worked fine for me. Were you trying to hardwire connect it?
No, we were like, we've got to be able to teach off of our iPad. So we entered the room with the iPad and with the computer, and we were trying to change who had the hosting, and so that we could write on the iPad at the same time as having the computer up.
Ms. Grambaugh, I have another idea for that. So when we get to the end of the presentation, remind me, have you played with Jamboard yet?
No, and I have questions about that. So
Okay,
that's why, yeah.
Let's talk about Jamboard when the kids are done with their presentation.
Okay.
All right, cool. Next slide.
Okay, now we're going to be talking about hosts and co-hosts. So the host controls allow you to control most aspects of a Zoom meeting, like managing the participants. And the co-host controls allow the host to share hosting controls with other users, thus allowing the co-host to do the same thing as the host. But the host has to assign a co-host before they're actually a co-host. So how do you do that is the icon to assign people as a co-host is on the upper right hand corner of the users and participants video. So if you were to put your mouse over one of the participants, then the picture in the middle would show up, and you can just press make co-host, and they would have the power to share their screen and allow people to come in from the waiting room or things like that.
Ella, question for you. What is a power that hosts have that co-hosts cannot have?
I don't know.
I know the answer to this if you get stuck. Only hosts can do polling, and only hosts can organize and set up breakout rooms. So co-hosts can do pretty much anything else. They can share video, they can record, they can block people or send people out to the waiting room, but they can't control breakout rooms or polling. That's as much as I know. Okay, are we done with this slide?
I think so.
Cool.
All right. So over the summer in our RioTV trainings, we have been adding icebreakers and games just to make things a little bit more fun than just learning about all the other stuff. So we took a poll from our RioTV class asking which icebreakers or games were their favorites out of all of the ones that we had done. So if we click the link, then we'll explain the ones that we've had. All right, Ella.
Okay, so the first one is called Perfect Match, and that one will play after our presentation and questions. So basically in this one, it's just asking so there's one person and they're turned around from the whole class. And then the like host of the game or like the teacher would say this or like that, like apples or oranges. And then if they say apples, everyone else in the class has to pick, but they don't say it out loud. Like everyone that says apples is still in, and everyone that says oranges is out, because apples is what the person that is turned around said. So basically, if you say the same thing as the person turned around, or you share like the same opinion on that certain thing, then you're still in, and then whoever's the last one in is their perfect match, or they like have a lot of similarities in what they like. Yeah.
All right, so lock screen, we played this game at the beginning of our first trainings. So if you had a phone or device or just any picture that was your favorite, you would just share what your lock screen is or your home screen. It was just a brief like description of what you have as your wallpaper.
Okay, so get to know you breakout rooms. Basically what we did is we split everyone up into 3 different breakout rooms, and we all came up with questions where we could get their answers and opinions and see who, and compare everyone's to see whose were alike and whose weren't, I guess. Yeah.
And while we're pausing really quickly
Something.
to figure out who's talking next, let me just jump in and say, so at the end of this slideshow, we're going to be sharing this slideshow as well. At the end of this slideshow, we're going to include descriptions of all of these games so that in case you forget the rules or how things work, my girls here, they're going to be typing up all these descriptions at the end of this slideshow. Okay, who's describing something about you?
I am. So in something about you, everyone has to say something about themselves that they think is unique to only them, like only they have done it. So say someone says, I've been to like Hawaii or something, and someone else has also been to Hawaii, they have to pick a new thing that no one else has done. And then once you do, then it moves on to the next person.
Two truths and a lie. There were 2 ways we played this. So this one involves the polling, which I think Mr. Plato said is not just on the basic count. So 2 truths and a lie. We had everyone say there are 2 truths and a lie, and then one way we did it was where you had other students try and ask them questions to kind of expose them, and then the other way was we just had them see. And the other way was just not even doing the questions and just adding the poll.
And what's the purpose of Two Truths and a Lie and other games like this? Like, is it just to find out who the best liar is? What's the purpose, Mia?
No, most of our icebreakers are really just for the class to get more comfortable with each other, and then it just gets us closer, and so we feel more comfortable around each other.
Okay, so put a finger down. Basically, you start with 10 fingers and you ask a question, and if you have done it, then you put a finger down, and then you keep playing until everyone has all their fingers down.
It's kind of a form of never have I ever, right?
Yeah.
So the what coin are you icebreaker is like you can pick what coin you are, and it's between a penny, dime, a nickel, and a quarter. And you would basically say a coin that you think you are and what reason you think you are that coin. So I think Julia said like she's a dime, but because she's like small, but she's like worth more than a penny or a nickel.
All right, so our last one is MTV Cribs. This one was optional, so it was just showing around like your workspace or the area that you do all your meetings and stuff. It's optional because some people might not want to show it, but then some people do, so yeah.
So can we go to the next slide, please?
Yes. Oh, this is the next slide.
Oh.
Right, because this was icebreakers. And then the last slide.
Oh, sorry, it hasn't changed yet for me. So, oh, there. Okay. So, thank you for joining us. If you have any questions, now there is more free time to ask questions, and we will also be playing Perfect Match soon.
Do you want us to just blurt out a question? Is that okay?
Go for it. Yes, Mr. Bibikoff.
All right. So, in many instances, I will be teaching at the early part of the class, and because there is a lot of project time in my class, students will be working on projects, and then I will come back at the end of class for closure. So my question to you is, I'm Zooming with my students, and if they're going to be working for 25 minutes, and we're live on Zoom, what are your recommendations?
So are you asking what are my recommendations for like what to do in that in between time, or?
Right, they're going to be working. It could be working with a partner. It could be working on their project independently. It could be, you know, they're not necessarily always going to have questions. They're going to be working. And so if that's the case, we're live on Zoom. I don't want to turn Zoom off, but then I don't know that I should be leaving on either. So there's that dilemma.
Well, so my suggestion, or one suggestion that I would have is, especially if you want to make sure that they are timed, like I say, okay, you're going to work independently. You've got 10 minutes, ready, begin. And then I put a timer on the screen like you see right now.
Sure.
And they have a countdown timer, so they know. So I'm going to keep this Zoom meeting open. So if they want to ask me questions, they want to chat with me, they can still, like, I'm still available, just as I would be in a physical classroom. They can come and ask questions. They could also, if they don't, you know, if they don't want to make their question public necessarily, then they could post in Zoom. You have the ability to message privately. So, so for example, Mr. Bibikoff, I can just type a message, and I sent you a private message that says hello, and it only goes to you. So a student could privately message you and just say, hey, I need some more help. Could you explain this concept again? And then, here, I'll turn that timer off. This, by the way, this timer that I was showing you is just a YouTube timer. So you can do any kind of timer, but this is, any kind of time you want. 20-minute timer, you just do a search. Pretty much any length of time you want, you can find these timers on YouTube.
Oh, okay, cool.
So that's what I have already used in my physical classroom and virtual classroom to to just say, like, hey, we have some independent work time, go. Or you could put on music. You can do YouTube if you want to play some like instrumental music, classical music, music that inspires art or math or social study, whatever. You could have that playing on YouTube in the background as well. Just some nice soft music, or a beach scene. I could put in here, beach, and I can be, like, kids can just be, they can have a relaxing beach scene, and just say, hey, we're gonna, we'll come back together after, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, say we're gonna come back together at this particular time. But yeah, I would definitely leave the connection open.
Okay.
So that way you can, and then you can also check to make sure that the kid's connection stays active. Again, how do you know that they're off working? And how do you know that they're not going to the kitchen, going to the bathroom, playing video games for 10 minutes? There's no way to know that. But ultimately, if you are holding them accountable for turning in a finished product, and they're either going to do that work now, or they're going to do that. They're going to have to do that work on their own independent time. So this is really, it's sort of like that kid in class where you hope that they're using that time wisely, but with 35 students in a classroom, and if they're doodling, they're drawing a picture and they're not doing their work, well, in your class, they would be working if they're drawing a picture, but in my class, if they're just, if they're, sometimes they could look like they're on task and not be. So ultimately, at the end of the day, you just have to, hope that they're using their time wisely, especially since we can't be over their shoulders watching the whole time. So the other thing that you could do in an art setting is you could ask them, depending on their webcam situation, you could have it situated where you ask them, hey, turn your webcam or turn your, I don't know, maybe in such a way so that you could see them working, see them drawing. That gets a little bit more complicated. But there are digital ways. There's like whiteboard.fi, where you can see them. You can see all of your students working at the same time. But I mean, for every class, it's going to be a little bit different.
Sure. Yeah, well, one of the things I'm going to be doing is dividing them up into smaller groups, and then where they'll have to show me their work. So I might 4 or 5 or 6 students at a time will Zoom, and I'm going to schedule dates and times, and they're going to have to show me their work in progress. Yeah. So I'm going to be doing that. But it's that time where, it's that time where I would be circulating around the room.
Yeah.
And it's that sort of thing. And so, and then students are students, and your students most of the time are great, but you may have that one student, there's a lot of precautionary things you can do on Zoom to assure that students aren't inappropriately using Zoom. So that's something that, and I know I watched some YouTube videos as well. So I just want to make sure that base is covered too, that and we're doing appropriate things.
And for that accountability piece, another thing you could do, especially since your class is such a visual class, is you could very easily there's a platform called Quius. Let me look this up, and I'll drop this in the chat.
Sorry if I'm taking so much time.
No, this is a good question, and we're going to be sharing this recording with with other teachers. So there's a platform called Quius, Kwiius. I'm dropping it in the chat right now.
Okay.
And actually, I'll just do a real quick screen share. So I'm going to sign in with Google, and so this is a website you can share with your students. And I've used this for students to do video essays. And yes. Okay, so we're going to call this My Artwork for Today. And so I'm going to click Submit. And hey, there I am right there. And so looks good. This is just a voice. You can see the screen, right? I'm sharing my screen correctly? Yeah. Okay. So I click looks good, and I click Start Recording. And I am drawing, and Mr. Bibikoff, hey, look at the art that I did today. Isn't this amazing? Thank you. And then you click Stop and Upload. This is great for students because this website, it never goes through a third-party server. It doesn't go through Korea or Russia or China or some other, unsecure location. Success, your video has been automatically uploaded to Google Drive. So now I go to Google Drive and my artwork for today, and then they could take this and they could submit. I don't know if it's going to, it's going to take a moment to process, but literally they could take this video that they have just created with their webcam, and they could submit this through Google Classroom, and then that's proof of what they did for the day.
Okay, cool. That's brilliant.
So it saves it to Google Drive automatically. It's super, super simple, super easy.
Cool. Beautiful. Quius. Got it.
Quius, yes. Quius. And I dropped the link in the chat, Kwiius.
Perfect. Thank you.
You're welcome. A teacher privately messaged me in the chat. For my school account, can I buy a better model of Zoom? Yeah, I think private teacher, you can. I think you can upgrade. It doesn't matter what email address you use. It's not a Google product. So, like in Google, you can't put a credit card information in our Heart District Google accounts. But for Zoom, if you're using your Heart District email address for Zoom, you can. I can't see why you wouldn't. I went ahead and used my personal email for my Zoom account, but I don't see a reason why you couldn't use your Heart District school account for Zoom.
I didn't know if it would mess up with if for some reason they gave us the fancy dancy.
If the school district pays for fancy dancy, then that would mess with things because we have created, they've created a school account. So if you just want to be on the safe side, use a personal email address. Your students will never see, they won't know the difference because they're never going to see your personal email. Okay. Ms. Grambois, how do you go into each breakout room? You asked the question in the chat. So as the host, you can go in your breakout room list. You're going to see all your kids in your breakout room. I can't show it to you right now because I couldn't do a screen share on Zoom and show you the breakout rooms. But essentially, you're going to be able to click join, and you as the teacher can join any breakout room you wish at any time if you want to go and check on your kids.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. I'm real quick because we've been covering some good stuff here. I want to talk about Jamboard. And Ms. Grambois, perhaps Jamboard might be what you want. So I'm going to click on my waffle icon.
I see one problem with it, unless you can tell me how to do it, is I would need to get a PDF into it. And I know there's an image thing, but I don't know how difficult it would be.
So if I go to Jamboard and I create a new jam, and so if I want to do, so now,
Sorry.
ooh, that was loud. Okay, so Ms. Grambois, can you see my video? Can you see like my face? Hi. And then this is my iPad, right? So I have my iPad, and so I'm on my iPad right now, and so because I can't write on my screen, I can't write on my computer screen.
Yeah.
But I can write on my iPad, and I have the same jam open on my iPad, so I could do, for example, right?
Yeah.
So you see me, so I can be demoing on my iPad. I could be showing how to do this.
Okay, girls, just so you know, this is how you do math.
Divide both sides by 3.
I remember this.
Yep.
X equals 3.
There we go. So that would be just like the basic thing. Now, if you want to drop in, if you wanted to add an image, I don't think you can drop in a PDF. I think you'd have to drop it in as an image file, but it's real easy to take PDFs and convert them to PNGs, right?
No, I don't know that.
Oh, okay. So if you have...
Well, I tried it, but I can only get like part of the document, and so I was having to take different pictures. Who is that?
I don't know. Who's making that sound? I think it was Julia. I just muted Julia. Okay, so I am, let's see. I gotta get some PDFs here. Free math worksheets. And is this a PDF?
These come up like as full documents for you. But when I pull something from like Google Drive,
yeah,
it won't show the entire paper. And even when I do Control- to get it to zoom, it still is not showing the whole thing. And so I'm having to do partial pictures.
Huh.
And it may be the Chromebook. And so when I actually get a real computer, maybe it'll work.
All right. So I'm going to,
Ooh, I like that website.
yeah, so this is how you convert PDFs to PNG files. It's just
Oh,
PDF to
okay.
PNG. So let me clear the frame and let me add a picture, and I'm going to upload, and right there, right? Yep, PNG file. There we go. Oh, that's the answers.
Doesn't matter. You just, yeah.
I don't want to give away the answers.
Oh, I probably
Okay.
know the answer.
So now on my Jamboard, oh, now I can, let me open it up here open it up on my iPad. Okay, so there we go. And so 2 times 3, there we go. I think that's 6. 5 times 3, 15. So I can write right on this PDF here, the PDF that I converted to a PNG file.
Okay.
Is this kind of the thing?
Yeah, no, that's good. I'm just used to using Notability, which you showed me how to hook up my cord and all that. This is good too. I'll practice with it.
Well, and so Notability, what I would do there, let me stop this share. With Notability, maybe, so I've got my...
Shaw, this is for you.
I've got my cable here, so let's try to do share screen and iPhone, iPad via cable. Oh, trust. Bring your shared window to the front. I don't know. It should be here somewhere. It should be here somewhere. All right, let me stop. I don't know where that window went. Let's try it again. Well.
I'm glad it's not just me.
All right. Anyway, I don't know why this is not working right now. It was working great with my iPhone. I just need to figure out how to make it compatible with the iPad, because like I could do Notability on my iPhone. Let's try this here. Share screen. Yep, I did that. See, it's making me look bad because I was just, oh, there it is. You see it?
Woohoo!
Okay, so hi, Shaw.
Hello.
So it may just take I don't know, a restart of the computer or something for to do the iPad. But anyway, here's Notability, and there we go. So I'm writing right now with my stylus on my iPhone, and so now I would just need to figure out why the iPad isn't working. But I think it's just be a connection issue. Anyway, okay, so it works with the iPhone, just not working right now with the iPad. But Notability is working great. So yeah, and I prefer Notability to Jamboard.
Okay, I have a question for Ron and Kim.
Yes.
Kim and I practiced switching hosts between our computer, our desktop, and our iPad so we could see them and then switch over and do Notability. By connecting it with the cord, we don't have to switch host back and forth. Is that the advantage? Okay.
Well, rather than switching the host features back and forth, just make, if you have like multiple devices open, is that what you're doing?
I was going to use Notability on my iPad. And so I think just connecting it with the cord means I can access it all from my desktop from what I'm getting from both of you.
I believe so, yes.
Okay, and Kim is nodding, so I think I'm on the right track. Okay.
I was able to make it work with the iPhone. I'm not sure why it's not working right now with my iPad, but
okay.
It could just require a computer restart.
We can do a Zoom call later and you can play.
Look out.
All right. Hey, before we go any further, it's 2:56 right now. Do we have any other questions for Mia, Ella, or Julia? Because they did an outstanding job. So applause for Mia, Ella, and Julia. Okay. Hey, Mia, Ella, and Julia, you guys were awesome. Is there anything else, Mia, Ella, and Julia, anything else that you want to share? Because this presentation has been outstanding.
Do you still want to do a perfect match or?
Oh, do you want to play a quick game?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay.
Sure.
This is a fun game, and it's super easy and super low risk because kids, if they don't want to, participate, they don't have to. But Ms. Shaw, are you able to turn your camera on? Are you in a place where you can do that?
Gosh, yeah. I look so bad.
Okay.
Hi.
Hey, you look great.
Oh yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to, that was not the window I wanted to open. So I'm going to open up this list of questions here. Let me go to too many windows open. Let's try this again. Okay, I'm going to go back to the presentation.
Ron, I had 30 windows open the other day.
Yeah, it gets a little crazy. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to share this screen again just so I can show you and show all the people watching this recording how to get to this. So on the slide with the games, here we go. Down here, these are perfect match questions. So if you've ever played the game This or That, like you just use the this or that questions right here, and there's the link to that in the slide in the slides. I will also, since you are already right here, I'm going to just drop this into the chat right now. So if you just want to click and you can open this up and you can save it, but it's also in the slideshow. Which, by the way, the slideshow I will also, for the benefit of the people who are actually on this call, on this live Zoom call, I'll drop this in for you right now. And so here's that full slideshow. Just drop that in the chat. Okay. So here's the way it works. It's nice to, you ask for everybody to turn their video on. And then if this doesn't apply to you, then you turn your video off. So Ms. Shaw, you are going to be you're going to be our person who is it, right?
Yeah.
So Ms. Shaw, just go ahead and close your eyes, just so you can't see the screen. But you still need to be able to, or you could just look to the side. Just don't look at the screen, right?
I can minimize it. Yes.
You can totally minimize it so we can hear your voice, but you can't see the screen.
Okay.
Perfect. So you can't see us now.
Correct. Oh,
Good.
I do see your face. Okay, hold on. That didn't work, did it? I minimized it, but Ron's still there. Okay, I won't let. Go ahead.
Okay. So Ms. Shaw, I'm going to ask you some questions. If our participants, if their answer matches your answer, they're going to leave their video on. If their answer is different than your answer, then they're going to turn their video off. And this will be a process of elimination. And then by the time we're done asking these questions, and we have a small group, so it's going to go pretty quick, then Ms. Shaw, we will have found your perfect match.
All right. Okay, and I figured out how to hide the video. There was a little arrow, so I got you.
Perfect. Okay, Ms. Shaw, if you had a choice, outside or inside, where would you rather be?
Outside.
Outside. Okay. So if you're more of an inside person, then you turn your video off. You already lost Ms. Grandbois. Okay.
I already knew that.
Ms. Shaw, video games or board games?
Board games.
Board games. All right. If you're a video game person, turn your camera off.
I just lost every junior high student, right?
No, hey, you still have all three of them. Ms. Shaw,
Oh,
hot chocolate or coffee?
hot chocolate.
Okay. Ms. Shaw, would you describe yourself as a morning person or an evening person?
No. Let's go evening.
Evening. Okay, so if you're more of a morning person, turn your camera off. Ms. Shaw, you still have everybody still hanging in there except for Ms. Grambois, who you lost.
Sorry, Kim.
I'm total opposite of everything she said.
Okay, Ms. Shaw, I already know the answer to this, but I just want to hear you say it out loud. Harry Potter or Percy Jackson?
Come on, Harry Potter.
Okay. So if you're more of a Percy Jackson person, turn your camera off.
I still like you.
Ms. Shaw, in the world of the comic book universe, Marvel or DC?
Oh, Marvel.
Marvel. Okay. So if you're a DC person, turn your camera off. Ms. Shaw, frozen yogurt or ice cream?
Oh, I love them all. Ice cream.
Ice cream. Frozen yogurt people, turn your camera off. Okay. The acronym GIF. You know what that is? Like a little animated
GIF.
picture? Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you pronounce it GIF or GIF?
Oh, GIF.
Okay. So if you pronounce it GIF, which is the correct way to answer it, then you turn your camera off.
I don't know about that. I have Googled it. Googled it, but whatever.
Ms. Shaw, are you more of a Taco Bell person or a Del Taco person?
Del Taco breakfast burritos.
Oh, there you go. That's a good answer.
Woo!
Okay. Fruits or vegetables?
Fruit.
Okay. On Netflix, The Office or Friends?
The Office.
Okay. You still got two people hanging in there.
Oh my goodness!
I know.
I did not think it would last this long. Okay.
I know. Well, you have some perfect matches right here in this room.
I like
Ms. Shaw, deep end or shallow end of the pool?
it. Deep end.
Deep end. All right. Any shallow end people? No. Still two hanging on. Swedish fish or red vines?
Swedish fish.
Okay. We're still not narrowed down to one left. Okay. Netflix or YouTube?
Netflix.
Okay.
Do I get points because I know what our answers are going to be?
You do get points, Ms. Grambois. Okay, we're almost there. You want to reach out to a friend? Do you do it with a phone call or a text message?
Text.
Okay. Ice cream cone or snow cone?
Ice cream cone.
Still got two. Boom. Okay, Ms. Shaw, take a look at your screen.
Okay.
Ella Kirshner is your perfect match.
All right. How do I get her my class?
And so then, we do an air high five with your perfect match partner. And so that's how we do it. So
I love that so much. That is so cute.
oh my gosh. And the kids, every time my kids are like, let's play that. Let's play that.
Yeah.
Because you get to know people and, have these conversations like, is it GIF or GIF? And just, it's just fun stuff like that. And I preface it with kids. I preface it, this is not like a dating setup kind of thing. You're trying to find your like romantic match. You're just like somebody that you have a lot in common with.
Things in common. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's perfect match.
Love it.
Yeah. Okay.
What grade is Ella going to be in?
Eighth
In a week.
grade.
Give me an 8th grader. These are all three of these are 8th graders, and all three of them they've been in RioTV before, so they're my leadership team.
I'm gonna have to look at my rosters, see if I get any of you.
It's possible that you could have at least one of them.
Yeah.
So
I won't have any of them.
You know already, of course, don't you?
No. Unless they change it. And you're probably all algebra, aren't you?
Yeah.
That's why I won't have you.
I got 2 classes of algebra.
Ms. Grambaugh, you're not teaching any algebra this year? Not this year?
No, she was so bad at math.
They
Okay.
want to give me 3 preps.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, because you're teaching Spanish also.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to turn the recording off.
And are you going to